you want to make money writing books, then it's super important to understand what trends are selling best in order to make the most out of each book you're writing. As we all know, when Twilight and even Harry Potter was published, all of a sudden young adult fiction, which wasn't really a thing before, started booming. But the real question is, how do you know what's trending? This is where Publisher Rocket comes in hand. Publisher Rocket is a software that you can use to do keyword and category research on Amazon. And it's a software I love dearly. And typically you don't use it the way I'm about to use it, but I thought this would be a really fun way to do market research for you guys. So today we're going to be using Publisher Rocket to create a spreadsheet of tropes and figuring out which ones are highly competitive, which ones are not, and that gives you room to, start writing in them for yourself. So not only will I be showing you how to do this on your own with Publisher Rocket tutorial, but I will also be giving you guys the spreadsheet, so make sure to stay tuned. Hello everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I'm an author, book cover designer, and the creator of the Book Launch Planner series, and I make weekly videos on the business of being an author. So if that sounds good to you, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a new upload. So first things first, let's talk about book tropes, because that is how we are going to decide what is trending and what is not. So what is a book trope, you may ask? A book trope is just a common plot device. Love triangle, enemies to lovers, friends to lovers, you get the idea. It's just a very quick way to summarize a plot device. And we are going to be looking up all these different book tropes on the Publisher Rocket software and see how they perform. Now, what is Publisher Rocket? Like I mentioned before, Publisher Rocket is a software that you can use to do keyword research, category research, and you can also use it to do research for the keywords for your Amazon ads. It's a software I know, love, and greatly appreciate. I am an affiliate for the software, so if at any point you become interested in using the software yourself, make sure to use my affiliate link in the description of this video. Otherwise, like I said, I will be creating a spreadsheet of all the research that I do today, so you guys can take it for what you will. Do know that this data does change day to day, so even though as I record this video is the most up to date, but as the months go on, this data will be out of date, and it is something that you're going to want to do your own research with by using the Publisher Rocket software if you have access to it. Also mentioned before, this isn't typically how you would use the Publisher Rocket software. Typically, you use it for keyword and category research and Amazon ad keyword research. I have tutorials for that, and I will link those tutorials down below, but I thought this was a more fun way to use the software. Alright, so let's jump on into the tutorial. First things first, let's go ahead and create a list of tropes. So I went on Instagram and I asked you guys what book tropes you guys wanted me to do some research on, and you guys gave me a long list. I also made my own long list. So here we are. These is all the tropes that I came up with. There are 80 of them. Most of them are romance, and I just feel like that's usually how it works out. So if you don't write romance, I'm sorry, but I am a romance writer, so therefore most of these are romance. But like I said, we have 80 tropes to start with, and this is the spreadsheet that I created. You can create your own spreadsheet if you want to do your own thing on Publisher Rocket, but we have a column from tropes, a column for monthly earnings, monthly searches, and competitive score. This is all data we're going to gather from Publisher Rocket. Step 2 is to search our trope on Publisher Rocket. So here we have the Publisher Rocket software. I am actually going to make my screen a split screen. If I wasn't doing a video recording for you guys, I would actually do it on my dual monitors because I have a dual monitor, but because I am doing a fun recording for you, we're not going to do the dual monitors. I want to make sure you guys can see. But we are just going to go to keyword search, and we are going to paste in our first trope. So copy and paste, friends to lovers. Now, we can see here we have a few different options. We have Kindle only, books, Audible only. I am going to leave it as Kindle only because I personally am a Kindle Unlimited author. So for me, Kindle Unlimited is what I am the most interested in. But if you want to do this own research on your own and you want all books, you can set it to just books or Audible only. But then once we have our keyword in, we're just going to hit the go get 'em rocket button and our keyword pops up. And you can see everything is blank. And you can also see there's many different other variations of that keyword. Today, I'm only interested in the keyword I typed in. If you see other keywords that you feel like are more fun trope ideas, you can add that to your list of tropes. But today, for time's sake, I'm only going to work with the tropes that I have in my spreadsheet. And now, to reveal the data, we just hit this little search icon here, and it pops up. So it gives us other information, like the average book is 262 pages, the number of competitors is less than 1,000, the average price of the book is $3, because we are talking about ebooks here because I set it for Kindle Unlimited, and the average monthly earnings is $2,848. The average Amazon searches is 801, and the competitive score is 58. And the competitive score, if you put your mouse over the little question mark icon, 0 is the easiest and 100 is the hardest. So the lower the number is, the better chance you have as an author because it's not a super competitive market. So say if this was rated as 100, it would be a little difficult. Now, if I wanted to, I can hit new search and I can put in the same keyword / trope and set it to books, just to see the comparison, and we can see it's more or less the same. I think for books, it is only print books rather than Kindle books, because if it was Kindle and print books, this number would be much higher, because we can see the monthly average earning is $1,246, whereas for Kindle, it's $2,848. So with that in mind, and again, keeping in mind that I am a Kindle Unlimited author, we are going to keep the Kindle keyword stats and all the stats going forward for Kindle. So you can also see on the tabs here, one is marked with a K and one is marked with a B, so you know which is which. So in this case, I only care about my monthly earnings, monthly searches, and competitive score. So our monthly earnings is 2,848. The monthly searches is 801. And the competitive score is 58. And basically, we just do this with all of our tropes that we have here. And then I also have up here this little color code I made for myself before I made a long list of tropes that was 80 words long. Originally, I was going to color code everything and be like, oh, this is a good trope to write in, this is maybe a good trope to write in, and this is not a good trope to write in. And that would be based off of these numbers. So a good trope to write in is something that has high monthly earnings, high monthly searches, but a low competition score. I realize now, 1, that's a lot of work, and 2, all of this is very subjective. So I'm not going to be filling this out. If you guys want to print out what I'm creating today and color code it yourself, feel free to. I'm also going to go in and make sure that this column is set to dollars, like so. So let's do one more of these together. So I'm going to copy enemies to lovers, hit new search, paste it in, keep it to Kindle, hit go get 'em rocket, and hit that little search icon again. We can see enemies to lovers is very competitive, which is why that is red. It makes pretty good monthly earnings. The search volume is extremely high, but the competitive score is also high. So as you can see, Publisher Rocket does some color coding for you to make your life a little bit easier. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just fill out all this information quickly, and I'll get back to you guys soon. Okay, so that took a long time, but here we have the list. As you can see, yes, I did end up color coding it because Publisher Rocket color codes it, so I figured I might as well just use the same color coding as Publisher Rocket. If you guys want to go in and color code this a different way, go ahead. Basically, the thing we want to pay attention to most is this monthly searches column. This monthly search column, obviously, this is just data from Amazon. So this is not an end-all be-all place to go to for data, but it's a starting point. It's a point of reference. But this is telling us, on average, how many people are searching each keyword, aka the tropes that we put in. Now, like I said, this isn't a perfect science, perfect system, because sometimes you can go in and edit the wording of these tropes when you're searching the keyword on Publisher Rocket to get a slightly different result. So this is a starting point. I want you guys, if you're really interested in this, to try out Publisher Rocket yourself and really search out whatever specific trope you want to really look into. But we want something that has high monthly searches and a low competition score, and hopefully also some high monthly earnings as well. So all the data is here. You can interpret it however you like. But as you can see, I added this extra column just to put a little star, asterisk, whatever you want to call it, on the tropes that kind of stood out from the crowd, because we have friends to lovers, which is all kind of in the maybe category, and the monthly earnings is still pretty good. And then we have billionaire romance, which has a very high monthly search, but not super competitive. And as we can see, the monthly earnings on that, very high. The first thing that came to mind was 50 Shades of Grey. Obviously, it had to start somewhere. Then we have One Night Stand, all in the maybe category again. The monthly earnings, though, not super high. So if you do decide to write in the One Night Stand trope, you can always throw in other tropes as well, because that's the best part of books. You don't have to write a book with just one trope. You can use a lot of different tropes. Then we have Beauty and the Beast, had a high monthly search, but low competition, also pretty low monthly earnings. Grump and Sunshine, which is a trope, okay monthly searches, but a very low competition and a pretty high monthly earning. So that's one to look out for. And keep scrolling. Then we have Bully Turned Nice Guy, was pretty high monthly searches, okay competitive score, but very high monthly earnings. So that's awesome. Then we have Rockstar Romance, okay monthly search, okay competitive score, okay monthly earnings. Then we have Military Romance, very high monthly search, okay competitive score, and very high monthly earnings. And the next one I have is Clean Romance, okay monthly search, okay competitive score, pretty high monthly earnings. Wholesome Romance, same deal, except for the monthly earning is not quite as well, but Wholesome Romance and Clean Romance arguably are pretty similar terms. And then we have Slow Burn Romance, okay monthly searches, okay competitive score, and a pretty good monthly earning. Now, those are the ones that I felt stood out. There are other ones where maybe the monthly search is very high, like Marriage and Convenience has a high monthly search, but is also a very competitive market. That doesn't mean you can't write a Marriage and Convenience book and not be successful. It just means that if you're a brand new author, you're going to have a hard time breaking through that competitive marketplace. So there's a bunch of tropes here that I'm not pointing out today, just because I wanted to point out the ones that are maybe easier to step into and hopefully have a lot of fun with when you're writing. At the end of the day, looking at this, I was like, oh my god, I should write a billionaire romance, because apparently that sells really well. But I personally can't really think of a scenario where this would be super fun for me to write in. Maybe I probably could. But this is very interesting to look at. It made me double think on the first book in the series that I'm trying to write. The series that I'm trying to write, book 1 is going to be Friends to Lovers, but I'm not going to lie, you guys, I'm rethinking things and wondering if maybe I should do a billionaire romance, because apparently that is an untapped marketplace right now. Anyways, I'm going to gather all this and export it as a PDF and make it available to you guys so you can sign up for my newsletter and download this and kind of make your own notes on it and use it as a reference. When you subscribe to my newsletter, you not only get this PDF, but you will also get all my other PDFs that I've had available for my newsletter subscribers. You get access to my resource library, which is on my website. But otherwise, that is it for today's video. Let me know of the different data that we dug up today, if anything was super surprising for you, or hopefully this makes you want to open up Publisher Rocket yourself and do some digging. I actually had a lot of fun. It was a little tedious to do 80 different tropes to research, but it was very surprising and made me kind of rethink some things in terms of the book I'm currently writing and the books I've already written, how I feel like I need to go in and update the categories and keywords for the books that I already have published, because once you publish your book and choose the categories and keywords, you are not stuck to just those categories and keywords. It's actually very smart to go in on a regular basis and update the categories and keywords of your book using Publisher Rocket, and that's something I haven't done in a while, so it's something that I think I might do now because I'm seeing that some things have changed and I'm getting a couple of ideas. So this video was fun for me. Anyways, I will see you all in the next video. Comment down below if you have requests for future videos.